All right, the Joe Torre Safe at Home 10th anniversary gala is upon us. I'm going to tell you how you can get tickets and everything. It is tomorrow night. I'll tell you all about it. But first, let's chat with Joe Torre, who joins us. Joe, welcome. How are you?
Fine. I just came back from Phoenix, Arizona.
Into the cold weather.
Phoenix was a touch warmer than this year.
I would say, Joe. It's 10 degrees today. It was 10 this morning when I took my kids to the bus. I think it hit 16 today, so it is a rather chilly day, but you're in town for your big event. First, before we talk about that, tell me about the Baseball Classic and what's going on with that.
Well, we're excited. When I agreed to do this, Mike, and, we've heard, and I know as a manager, when this thing rolled around in March, I say, well, I don't want to lose my players. It was always the concern about spring training, important time of year, lose your players, and I think we've come a long way since then. But I made up my mind that I was going to talk individually with each player, just to sense if they feel they have to or they want to, and the response has been really good. There are a lot of players I stayed away from, guys who've had particularly long years, or guys who have had some injuries like Matt Kemp, and guys who finished the season. Derek is another one. So, but everybody I've talked to, they're excited about coming on board, and I'm getting excited about doing this thing.
Joe, do you get heat from teams about stay away from my player, stay away from my pitcher?
Well, you know what? I've talked last summer. I've gone around and sort of tested the waters. And nobody really, I can't say that anybody ever said, no, we're not going to let you do this, because, certainly the ball clubs, for the most part, have cooperated. But, a lot of them will maybe tell me something that I didn't know before.
Okay.
Maybe like he's going to have a little surgery or something like that. So I put those guys out of my mind.
You will have Andy Pettit. You will have R.A. Dickey, so you'll have some interesting guys on that pitching staff. And is there anybody that you're disappointed didn't come and play for you?
No, I can't say that, only because, when you send out, and I did a lot of dealing with Tony Clark. And the fact that I've done that, I really based it on give me some people who are interested list. So in using those players, I really didn't get any no's. I had, we've had some people we've reached out to, and they, especially players that have gone to new teams, and I certainly understand that they don't want to leave their club for 3 weeks in spring training the first year they're with a team. So just things like that. But a lot of them respectfully, refused, only based on the fact that they had a long year, or they had some injury problem.
One last one before we get to your event. I hate the idea of having an interleague play every day. I mean, I know there's not a way to solve this, but boy, I don't know, it just feels uncomfortable.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
Interleague play every day.
Oh, interleague play every day.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just don't. It feels uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, well, I didn't like interleague play to begin with,
right.
But it's certainly you can't argue the interest here in New York and the interest in Chicago, and the Dodgers and the Angels. Not quite the excitement of being here in Boston. In Chicago. But I think attendance bears it out. People seem to be excited, but on an everyday basis, obviously it's necessary with both leagues having 15 teams, and we'll see what happens. I'm sure if there are adjustments that have to be made, we'll try to figure that out. But right now, it's the only way to do it with 15 teams in each league.
Do you want to see any more? Instant replay, or are you comfortable where it is right now?
No, I think eventually we'll see more. But the only thing I don't want to do is jump just because there's a lot of outcry for it. I think it's important to do it. Our game's a little different than other games, where there's a certain rhythm that you don't want to disrupt. We don't have the timeouts that they have in other sports. So we have a committee that's looking into it. I'm on it. Tony LaRussa's on it. We're sort of gauging the interest of general managers and managers on what they envision. And this year we're not going to have it this year, and we're going to by 2014 we expect to have it. But I can't tell you, not that I won't tell you, but we haven't figured out how we want to go about it yet.
Talking with Joe Torre. And, Joe, next year you're going to be on that Veterans Committee, and it's figured that it's considered to be almost a formality that you'll get into the Hall of Fame, and you deserve it next year. What will that mean?
Well, it's interesting, Mike. I've never thought about that, maybe because I couldn't do anything about it, and now that I'm being reminded that it's a year from now, there's no question it's going to be exciting because so many of my teammates and so many of my guys, my contemporaries are in the Hall of Fame, and it's such a special place to be that if it does indeed happen, I certainly will be emotional like pretty much everybody else is.